You're standing at an airport immigration counter, American passport in hand, watching as the officer's welcoming smile fades into suspicion. This isn't 1995 anymore, when that blue passport was your golden ticket to the world. Today we're witnessing something unprecedented. Countries that once rolled out the red carpet for Americans are now quietly closing their doors. From beachside cafes in Ecuador to luxury hotels in Dubai, the message is becoming crystal clear. You're not as welcome as you used to be. What's driving this global shift? Why are rental prices suddenly doubling for Americans? Why are visa renewals being denied without explanation? This isn't just about a few isolated incidents. We're looking at a fundamental change in how the world views American travelers and expats. Before we dive in, let me be clear, this video isn't about bashing any country or culture. We're simply examining the cold, hard facts about what's happening to American citizens abroad in 2025. And trust me, some of these stories will surprise you. Number 10, Mexico. When your neighbor changes the locks. Remember when crossing into Mexico felt like visiting family? Thousands of American retirees had made places like San Miguel de Allende their forever homes. But that warm welcome is cooling fast. Here's what's happening. Long-term American residents are receiving visa denial notices out of nowhere. No lengthy explanations, no appeals process, just a simple line that changes everything. Visa cannot be renewed at this time. Now let's be fair here. Many Americans have been gaming the system with visa runs, leaving for a few days, then returning for another 180-day stay. When thousands of people do this repeatedly, it creates pressure on local resources and communities. But imagine this, you've built friendships, learned the language, become part of a community. Then suddenly you're asked to leave. It's not just paperwork, it's your entire life being uprooted. Mexico isn't saying Americans aren't welcome anymore, but they're definitely redefining the terms of that welcome. And Mexico is just the beginning. Number 9, Indonesia, where one photo can end your dream. Bali, the paradise that launched 1,000 Instagram feeds. For digital nomads and remote workers, it was the perfect escape. Tropical beaches, affordable living, and that spiritual vibe everyone's seeking. But here's the thing about social media paradise. One wrong post can destroy everything. Take this American entrepreneur who'd been living peacefully in Ubud for 3 years. Working remotely, renewed his tourist visa regularly, never caused trouble. Then one day, immigration called him in. No warning, no explanation, just a one-way ticket home. The issue? Local authorities are cracking down on what they see as disrespectful behavior. Filming in sacred places, turning local homes into Airbnb cash cows, complaining about Wi-Fi speeds, behaviors that might seem innocent, but strike locals as entitled and insensitive. Indonesia has also announced strict policies targeting digital nomads working illegally on tourist visas. The message is clear. If you're earning money here, you need proper permits, no exceptions. It's not that Americans aren't welcome, it's that the rules have changed, and not everyone got the memo. Number 8, United Arab Emirates. When modern meets traditional Dubai, where desert meets skyscrapers, where luxury seems limitless, and where thousands of Americans have built tax-free lifestyles. But that glittering facade can hide some serious pitfalls. Meet Sarah, a 29-year-old American influencer with over 300,000 TikTok followers. She was living her best Dubai life, rooftop brunches, luxury shopping, sharing it all online. Until March 2025, when airport security stopped her at departure. The reason? A single Instagram post showing her in a bikini at her private apartment complex. 5-year entry ban for violating public morality laws. Just like that, her Dubai dream was over. In 2025 alone, over 300 American citizens have been warned or deported from the UAE for similar reasons. The culture clash is real. What's normal self-expression in America can be criminal behavior in the UAE. The UAE offers incredible opportunities, tax-free income, luxury living, safety, but it comes with invisible boundaries that many Americans discover too late. Number Thailand, the land of smiles. Until you don't, Thailand has always been the gateway to Asia for Americans. 30-day visa exemptions, incredible food, vibrant expat communities. But even the land of smiles has limits. Adam, a 38-year-old online English teacher, had visited Thailand 4 times without issues. Clean record, no violations, no problems. But on his 5th visit, Bangkok airport immigration had other plans. 6 hours in a private room, passport confiscated. then a one-way flight back to the US. The reason? A Facebook photo from over a year ago. Just a snapshot of a public gathering he'd walked past in Chiang Mai. Here's what many Americans don't realize. In Thailand, anything related to politics or the royal family is strictly monitored. Even innocent photos can land you on a blacklist, and in our digital age, nothing is ever truly forgotten. Thailand still welcomes millions of tourists yearly, but they're making it clear, respect our boundaries or face the consequences. Number 6. China. When teaching becomes suspicious. Imagine dedicating your life to education, teaching English to eager students, following all the rules. Then suddenly your visa isn't renewed. No explanation, no hearing, just a brief notice that changes everything. This happened to Karen, a 42-year-old teacher from Ohio. 3 years at an international school, beloved by students, spotless record. But apparently, one of her curriculum topics was deemed inappropriate for the current context. China's policies controlling foreigners have intensified dramatically since 2023. What you teach, share online, or even message in private groups, it's all potentially under scrutiny. The difference here isn't about breaking laws, it's about invisible boundaries that keep shifting. In America, you can ask, what did I do wrong? In China, sometimes you just get a plane ticket home. Number 5, Philippines. When your past catches up. For many older Americans, the Philippines represented that last refuge. Affordable living, friendly people, a taste of old-school hospitality. But even longtime residents are finding their welcome wearing thin. Take Robert, a 68-year-old former technician from Minnesota. 7 years living peacefully near Cebu, teaching English to village kids for free, living simply. Then came the notice, 15 days to leave the country. The reason? A minor ethical violation from decades ago, something that was overlooked when it first arrived, but somehow became grounds for deportation years later. The Philippines hasn't turned against Americans, but they're tightening the screws on background checks and ethical evaluations. Past mistakes that seem forgotten can suddenly resurface to haunt you. Number 4, India. When spirituality becomes suspicious. India, the land where Americans come to find themselves, to dive deep into ancient wisdom and spiritual practices. But sometimes sharing that journey can get you expelled. Jessica, a 34-year-old former corporate communications worker, attended a traditional yoga festival in Varanasi. She wasn't teaching or organizing, just participating and sharing her experience on Instagram with thoughtful captions. 3 days later, authorities asked her to leave. The charge? Unauthorized spiritual dissemination that violated her tourist visa terms. India isn't rejecting Americans, but they're hyper-vigilant about foreign religious influence. When you have thousands of years of spiritual tradition, outsiders reinterpreting it can feel like cultural appropriation. Number 3, Turkey. When observation becomes intervention, Istanbul, where East meets West, where Americans have long come to soak up culture and find artistic inspiration. But in 2025, some discovered that even passive observation can be seen as a threat. Turkey's broad interpretation of national security means almost anything can be deemed suspicious. An article about urban life, a conversation with a former protester, even photos saved on your phone. The message is clear. Every conversation is remembered even when you think no one's listening. And the authorities reserve the right to redefine those boundaries whenever they choose. Number 2, Canada. When your closest neighbor says no, Canada, America's friendly neighbor to the north, the place Americans always thought they could escape to when things got tough. But even that welcome mat is being pulled back. By 2025, some Americans are receiving residency cancellations and visa denials, not for wrongdoing, but because Canada is quietly restructuring its immigration priorities. Remote workers who don't pay Canadian taxes are being pushed out. Canada is facing the same challenges America once did. Job shortages, housing crises, rising costs, and they're prioritizing their own citizens first. If Canada, our closest neighbor, is closing its doors, what does that say about the global shift we're witnessing? Number 1, Saudi Arabia. Where rules are absolute. Saudi Arabia, a kingdom undergoing massive transformation while maintaining unwavering moral boundaries. Here there's no gray area, no room for "I didn't know." In 2025, many Americans working in Saudi Arabia were unexpectedly deported. not for serious crimes, but for actions deemed incompatible with local culture and laws. The system is crystal clear: adapt or leave. There's no concept of, sorry, I didn't understand. Ignorance doesn't exempt you from consequences. What this all means, so why is this happening? Why are countries that once celebrated American presence now viewing us with suspicion? The answer isn't simple, but several factors are converging. Economic pressures, cultural clashes, geopolitical tensions, and a growing sense that American influence comes with unwanted baggage. Americans are no longer being rejected for who they are. They're being re-evaluated for what they represent. And in many cases, we're no longer assumed to be automatically welcome. The world is changing, and the rules of global mobility are being rewritten. That powerful American passport? It's still valuable, but it's no longer a guaranteed free pass. The question isn't whether Americans are still welcome abroad. It's whether we're willing to adapt to new realities and respect the boundaries that other nations are setting. Have you experienced this shift firsthand? Share your story in the comments below, because understanding these changes is the first step to navigating them successfully.